I found my pen so I can compile another list for this morning. Now, that's the back of this list. That's a basic crystal set with an amplifier tied to it. Now, Tesla uses something, Nikola Tesla used a circuit similar to that to find ghosts, and he found something. It scared the hell out of him. Was it ghosts? Was it just something natural that, because there's all kind of signals down there. The planets themselves will put out radio signals, which nothing paranormal or spooky. Well, it's spooky sounding, but they're nothing paranormal or anything like that. It just they put out signals like that, and let's test a circuit. I need to build me something like that. Anyway, let me continue with my list now. Bunny MBL and van life. I'll get to her in a second. Now her doggie has been sick. She posted a picture on Facebook of her doggie and said that the doggie has been sick from yesterday, and dog named Rook. Now she's asking for people thoughts and prayers and stuff. And yeah, if you're into thoughts and prayers to for people or for sick animals, yeah, here send the bunnies doggie your thoughts and prayers. Now let me get to Bunny for a second. Now not recently, but maybe a few months ago, on one of some of her videos, she'd said something. So, what I like to do, is post videos like I'm doing now for people. Now, I posted a video, and then I went to Bunny's video, and posted a comment said I've left a video for you. My YouTube channel is in my name, and of course she promptly deleted it. So, I didn't have a very high opinion of Bunny. I'm thinking Bunny is just that type of person that will delete people's comments like that. She just doesn't want the guy to. Now, I've done that for other videos, and most of the YouTube content creators don't care if you give it, because it usually doesn't get me more than a few views off of their channel anyway. Or doesn't seem, because I've got the one I did for the 30 degrees in Europe, I posted over on Deutsche Welle. I think that probably got me a few more views. Because Deutsche Welle is a very, very popular, worldwide news service. By the way, for Bunny, hey Bunny, if you want to meet up with me and make some collab videos, as long as we can do it, excuse me, excuse me, as long as we can do it in a sane, rational, civil manner, yeah, I'd do a collab video with you. Now, if you want to offer me that tuna fish sandwich, we'd have to know each other a little bit before I do that with anybody. I just put that out there. But if you want to do some collab videos with me, I know a place around here that we'd both probably find interesting. Now, if you had asked for somebody to go down to Mexico with you, now she went down to Mexico to get some dental work done, and she got a hold of a doctor that screwed her up. Now, I think I would have asked other people, because I know a guy that goes down to Mexico to get to get various procedures done. I think I'd ask him, hey, who do you visit down there? I think that's what I would have done. Let me switch hands here. I'm going to switch hands a couple times. I rest my phone on my knee and just hold it in my hand so it stays fairly stable, so it's not jerking all over the place. But anyway, if I was Bunny, I think I would ask around and find some place, find some reputable doctors that had treated other people properly. Plus, I think I would have learned some Spanish. Of course, I grew up speaking Spanish, and you don't grow up in the Southwest U.S. without learning a few words of Spanish. That just was popular around here. I'm gonna get to that in a few minutes. But for Bunny, if Bunny, hey, send your thoughts and prayers to Bunny's dog Rook, and this course the video, the image she had posted yesterday on YouTube was yesterday. So the dog may be in recovery now. I'm kind of hoping the dog is doing better. Gotta hate to see people or animals suffer. Consider if you're into thoughts and prayers, send them to Bunny and her doggie, and hopefully. I don't know if Bunny's watching my videos, but Bunny, I'm not going to use the B word or the C word for you because I don't quite feel that way, but some people might. You might ease up a little bit. I'm trying to think of that. The Grinch is still Christmas. That the Grinch, something happened where his heart softened a little bit. Maybe Bunny's heart can soften. Maybe Bunny's heart can soften a little bit, and she become a little bit more open and accepting person. That would be nice. Let me continue here. Pole Barn Garage's latest video. He's done 2 or 3 of these where you go through Facebook Marketplace. He calls these crackheads on Facebook Marketplace. Now the ones that he considers crackheads are the I don't think they're actual crackheads. There may actually be, but there are people that are selling vehicles on Facebook Marketplace that want an insane amount of money. There was one, this lady, I can't think what the car was. She had listed it. She said, I don't know what engine's in there. She said the car is complete except part of the frame rail's rusted out, part of the trunk lid is rusted out. And I mean, this was listed in the ad, and I think she wanted like 10 grand for this car. So, I don't remember his name. If I remember his name, but anyway, I'm gonna say Kevin, but Kevin is Junkyard Diggs. That's his name. There's a bunch of these guys that are very similar. That Kevin is have a beer about it. It's not fixed, but it's different. That's what I remember. He's got those T-shirts that say on there. Of course, the David Freiberger's got those T-shirts that's got the firing order for the for the V8 engine on there. A lot of people are gonna be looking at that and not know what that means. But anyway, now Pole Barn Garage on this one car. So they want 10 grand for a car that was partially rusted out. He commented, "Lady, you're completely insane," and or words to that effect. And he's was going through some other videos or some other images on Facebook Marketplace, and he got a comment back with the letter, huh? So that was funny. Now he'll have some other cars, so like a 50-something Chevy something. He goes, yeah, it's a nice car. It's not worth 10 grand. It's a 4-door post. That's a better preference. Now, Sleeper Dude likes those Fairmonts and those Falcons. I remember when the Fairmonts were popular back in the 80s. There used to be a lot more of them around. They're getting a bit more scarce. And my father's cousin Earl liked the Falcon. This is back. He had like a 62 Falcon car, little 170 in there. He had a Falcon van. Same thing, had like a little inline 6 in there. Real small engines. That's what he liked, though. He'd work out of that Falcon van. He did a lot of odd carpentry type stuff. He had a van with like Bible verses painted. He was a deeply religious guy. He had the Bible verses painted on the side of a van. Kind of an interesting, cool guy. He's gone now. His daughter moved up to Pacific Northwest, and he followed her up there. But he's gone by now because he was up in years pretty good. I kind of lost track of him after he left the valley here. Hey, if any of the Earl Godman family is watching my videos from the Pacific Northwest, I'm pretty sure Betsy would. Betsy's just a couple years older than me. I don't know her married name, and she's a grandma. She's probably a great grandma by now. If any of the Godman family from that side of the family is up there in Pacific Northwest, Oregon or Washington somewhere, watching my videos just because my name, hey, wish you well. If you want to contact me, if you want to claim me as kinfolk, fine. If you make that that festival that the Godman family has done in Kentucky, I'm going to cover that in another video. They have this, the Godman family has this get together down there in Kentucky sometime in early May, sometime in the spring. I've never attended, but that event is on my bucket list. If any of the Godman family wants to come in and claim as kin and stuff, hey, let me know. If you want to get up with me, if any of my third or fourth cousins want to get up with me, not necessarily anything romantic, hey, let me know. Let's see. Back to Pole Barn Garage because I kind of got sidetracked there. Yeah, his values in the eye of the beholder, man. If you like those Tri-5 cars, I know a guy that likes the 55 Chevys. He likes them over the 57 just because that was the year he's born. I know another guy that, I happen to have been born in 57. But I know another guy that had collected 57 Chevys. Same reason, just because it was the year he's born, and found that interesting. For free, I think they're cool cars. I don't see a difference in the 2-door and the 2-door and the 4-door cars. I think they're all interesting, but some people prefer the 2-door cars. Like I said, again, it's a matter of personal taste. It's a matter of personal preference. Let's see what else. Well, it was on Adam 12 back. Adam 12 was it's a TV show about these two LA cops. Anyway, now they had one guy had got a bad deal from a dealer. He'd bought what was obviously a 57 Chevy. Now this was made. The TV show was made back in the late 1960s. This guy got a bad deal on. He'd paid like $500 for this 57 Chevy. I think the engine was all goofed up or something. I looked at it. This is I was probably watching this show back in the '80s, and I looked at it and said, "Man, that car, if it's still around today, $500. That's a hell of a deal. It wouldn't have to run. It could be all rusted out. It's still even a parts car is worth $500 or something like that. Like I said, this is back. The show was filmed back in the '60s, and the car wasn't. It was newer back then, but you could nothing. Pole Barn Garage was saying it would scare the hell out of me to drive that. No, I can't remember what the car was. It was all original. Yeah, you take something old like that, you definitely want to go through if it's all original, you want to go through the suspension, the steering components. That's what a lot of guys do that restore them. They'll go through the suspension, the steering parts, redo the brakes, go through the car where it's safe to drive. You don't want to leave it all stock in that respect. You can leave the body all stock and, redo the parts that are important, the parts that make it a better car to drive. You can get those kits out there, but you gotta be a gearhead to do that. You can't pay somebody to do that. Well, I guess you can. People do that, I suppose. Let's see, back to Pole Barn Garage's crackhead. Now, there was a friend of mine. I'd helped him, took him over to a couple places. He'd got some stuff off Facebook Market. He's got some tools, some Makita, some battery-powered and plug-in tools. Now, there are places that sell stuff off of Facebook Marketplace, like Makita tools. I'm just wondering where these come from. Are these actual crackheads that steal stuff off of shipping docks? Steal stuff out of Home Depots or Lowe's? Or are they warranty returns? Where do people get these tools that my friend of mine got like a battery-powered Makita for like $100, which is a hell of a deal. And I talked to him, I was going to go back, and somehow I never did. I never had the $100 to buy just for a battery-powered Makita. I've got a plug-in Makita that I don't use it that much. I don't use my drill that much, but if I needed to. Where do these deals on Facebook Marketplace come from? Where do people get their Makita tools? Now, there was a place over in Mesa I got a couple of used laptops from. I don't remember if it was Facebook Marketplace or if it was eBay. It could have been off eBay. This lady had some laptops listed, and to me it just sounded so damn sketchy. But I went over there anyway. But I told my daughter, because my daughter's also over in Mesa. I gave her the address of this place. I said, I've got to go there and make a deal with this lady. And she texted back. She said, "Dad, you're scaring me." So I said, "Yeah, just kind of this place was kind of iffy." I went over there, paid the money for it, and fine. But this place just kind of had the look of a drug drop house. Of people that people would pay, drug addicts to exchange their stolen stuff from. And there's probably places like that. There's another place that it was out in the middle of the desert, here, that just had the look of a chop shop. If you know what a chop shop is, this place just had the look, because a friend of mine had me go out there to, we got an intake manifold for something. This guy happened to have it. We'd run out there. It's got a big old nice warehouse in the middle of the desert, and this place just had the earmarks of a chop shop. There's probably a few places out in the desert that are real chop shops. You either know what those are or you don't. But when Pole Barn Garage talking about crackhead deals on Facebook Marketplace, those images keep coming up. Another thing I want to address here, completely different. Now, there's a place that Rick DeBrule had mentioned on one of his videos, or a couple of videos. Now, that's the title of his YouTube channel, is Rick DeBrule. I've covered him. I'd say about 90% of Rick DeBrule's videos are from that Martin Museum in Phoenix, but he has gone up to, I think it's called Desert Diamond Auto Wrecking Yard. There's several of them. One of them is in Phoenix. It's a wrecking yard, self-service auto wrecking yard in Phoenix. Another one is in Black Canyon City. Black Canyon City is about, it's a few miles north of the valley. It's just north of Phoenix. Actually, Black Canyon City is a pretty nice place. It's kind of in the foothills of the what's that mountain? The mountain range just north of Phoenix, the Bradshaws. But anyway, it's a hair cooler than the valley. But anyway, there's a self-service auto wrecking yard where they have the newer cars You can, they're parting out. You can go through there, but they have, according to Rick DeBrew, I've never been there. This place is on my bucket list. I'm gonna get that in a second. Now they have these what they call project cars. They're cars that are pretty much complete. They're maybe the body's maybe not straight. It's not a lot of rust on it. They're desert cars. You see on a lot of sales vehicles, desert car. It's a car that doesn't have a lot of rust in here because we're not close to the ocean. We're not places where they salt the roads for snow. The cars don't rust out as quickly. But anyway, this auto wrecking yard has these project cars. I would just like to go through this yard somewhat, preferably another gearhead chick that's into old cars. Would go with me. We could make some videos. You can have a YouTube channel. You don't have to. Not anything romantic. Just make a collab video with a chick that's into old cars. Go through this yard. And video some of their project cars. Because they've got cars that are nearly complete. With a clean title that you can just trailer them out there, then slowly go through them and get a piece of American muscle history that you can make a daily driver into. Again, you'd want to completely go through there. Not necessarily a frame up restoration, but you can take a car and make a daily driver out of it. Get it ready to drive, and then slowly go through it piece by piece. Do the suspension, the steering components, brakes, little by little as you're using it. People do stuff like that. Anyway. Dwell on that long enough. Let me get to English language because I was covering Spanish yesterday. Just wanted to include something here on English. Now, English, like Spanish, English has gone worldwide. The people out of the Great Britain they did their colonizing back in the day, and there's quite a bit of English spread worldwide, just the way things were. And if you look at the English they did in Australia, the English they speak is pretty close to English. There's a few words that are slightly different. The core language is the same. Now, if I listen to somebody from Australia, yeah, I can understand them. Now, if you go back 500 years, like the King James Bible, like the plays from Shakespeare, you can understand it, but it just sounds a bit funny. It's just the way they spoke back then. Languages do that. Languages change over time. Now, if you go back 1,000 years to English, you wouldn't understand a damn word of it. English spoken of 1,000 years ago, before William the Conqueror did his thing in 1066. I'm gonna get to William the Conqueror here in a minute. If you listen to English 1,000 years ago, it sounds more German than English, because the Anglo-Saxons came over here from Central Europe. There's not one German language. There's a handful of different German languages, Hochdeutsch and Plattdeutsch and whatever they spoke back 1,000 years ago. But anyway, like when William the Conqueror came over in 1066, the guy was Norman French. The important people, the ruling class in England, spoke French for 200-300 years. There's a bunch of French words in English. There's a bunch of Latin words. The Romans left. Now the Romans, they're kicked out by the Celts and back about 1,800 years ago. Well, Rome fell apart around 400 AD, and they kind of backed off from there. They went back to Central Rome. They kept their Latin. The people, modern day Italian is basically Roman, modernized Roman. I'm gonna get to vulgar Latin here in a second, but English the English we speak today is a combination of a bunch of different languages. We got the culture and the history of all kinds of different languages. If you listen to German, there's a bunch of German words in English. They're not exactly. Well, the examples I like to use are like water and Wasser, snow and Schnee. There's a bunch of them that if you start to learn German, you can recognize that a lot of English are just slightly different from their German equivalents. So I've always found that really, really super fascinating. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I find languages interesting, and there's something they call Proto-Indo-European freestyle languages. They go back half the world's languages have their basis in Proto-Indo-European. Half the world's languages are based upon that, and that's the reason you'll find a lot of words that are very, very similar in languages that you wouldn't think had anything to do with English. Kind of interesting. Okay, the last thing I'm going to cover here, because I've rambled on long enough, is uh, I'm gonna go over to Walmart here later this morning and buy a few things. But anyway, now if you go in there now, if a guy goes in there is buying grub, now the ladies that work at the cashiers, you can kind of pick up on the people that are probably by themselves. Now for me, I go in there, and buy my own food. It's obvious that. Well, I mean, any chick that's into the cashier is going to realize that a guy buying his own food consistently, because I mean, you see the same cashiers all of the time, and these ladies kind of pick up on. They kind of figure, well, if you're buying your canned food, you're probably a guy by yourself. And these ladies that now, yeah, you'll know the look if you're looking at a piece of meat that you're considering a piece of steak or hamburger or whatever. You kind of eyeball it. These chicks will kind of give you this eyeball like they're sizing you up. People do that. That's just the way we humans work. You kind of size somebody up. These chicks now. I kid around about different ladies that are here on YouTube and stuff. And if I really want to find somebody, I could probably, start asking some of these ladies at Walmart some more serious questions. You got a husband or family. You got grown kids. What's your kids. You got kiddos living at home. You got kids. You got grandkids still living home. You're there with your daughter and her family, and you don't have your boyfriend or husband there. Yeah, I could start asking them stupid questions like that and see where that goes. You start asking chicks questions like that, and they know that you're curious about them. And like I said, I could probably find somebody, but deep down, yeah, I don't think I really want somebody. I'm more talking about picking up somebody just to set up the people that think I'm gay. Now, some lady did want to make some YouTube videos with me. Yeah, I would go for it. Whatever you got in mind, let me know. We'll sit down and figure it out, and we'll do something interesting. We'd want to know each other before then went beyond that. They probably wouldn't. You get older in life and you're kind of set in your ways and you really don't want somebody. Okay. Bye.